Mark Kennedy here from Monterey. Today I'm going to talk about the biggest mistakes people make when they start their investing career. When I first got my first job on Wall Street in 1979, my family said, well, what stock should I buy? Well, I went over to the over-the-counter department. I said, what stock should my family buy? So they gave me one of the specials that was that week, and they all bought it. Not a lot, but they all bought the stock. And it proceeded to go down. It ultimately went out of business. The bright side of that is people stopped asking me for my investment advice. Now, that was when I first joined in 1979. Things have changed a lot since then. I've learned a lot since then. There are a lot of young people out there that are just starting their investing career, and they want the get-rich-quick stocks, the meme stocks, cryptocurrency, you name it. With the ones with the highest volatility, that's where they think they can make the biggest buck. Well, that's true, but they can also lose a lot too. I've learned over time that a diversified, well-balanced investment is way better than trying to time the market or to pick really volatile stocks. Let's talk about timing the market. Everyone thinks, well, if you don't know how to time the market, how can you be a portfolio manager? You don't build a portfolio to jump in and jump out of the market. You build a portfolio that you can live with in up markets and down markets. A portfolio that will, over a long period of time, will give you the kind of investment return that you're looking for. Over a long period of time, the S&P 500 has made over 10% plus dividends. That's a decent return. The rule of 72 says that if you're making 10%, every 7 years, your money is doubling. Well, that's a pretty good result. And that's how compounding works. I often ask people whether they want a penny doubled every day for 31 days a month, or would they rather have $1 million? Well, they always say, oh, yeah, I want the money right now. Take the $1 million. Well, a penny doubled every day for 31 days. At the end of 31 days, that's over $5 million. So think about your answer, because it can make a big difference. Timing the market. It's impossible to time the market. If you took the market over the last 40 years and you invested every market top, and then the market corrected into a bear market over the last 40 years, you would think, well, there's no way that person could possibly make money. But that's not the case at all. Even if you invest at the very tippy top, which is almost statistically impossible to do, or to buy at the bottom. But if you had that horrible foresight, and the market went down every time you made an investment, you would still, over a long period of time, have a positive rate of return. A very solid positive rate of return, as a matter of fact. If, for example, you take just $3,000 and put it in the stock market every year for the next 40 years, the average length of a career, that $3,000 invested every year is going to be worth over $1.5 million. Timing is not the way to increase your rate of return. Time in the market is the way to increase your return. Oftentimes people overestimate their risk tolerance. And what I mean by that is they'll say, well, I'm okay with it. If the market goes down, I won't panic out of the market. Well, the market goes down and you panic out of the market. Well, if you sell at the bottom, you'll never make that money back, because if you lose 50% on an investment, it has to go up 100% in order for you to break even. That's if you stay invested. If you jump out of the market could go back up 100%, but you're not in the market. You're never going to recoup those losses. So don't put yourself in an asset allocation that you're going to get spooked out of. And when the market goes down, it's going to go down. The reason why the returns are so spectacular in the stock market is because it does go down. Look at 2000. The market would drop. There was 10 years it took to make the money back that was lost from 2000 until 2010. What they don't tell you and that statistic is suggested, is that from 1990 to 2000 was a huge run-up in stocks. So only the people that bought at the very top in 2000, fortunately subject to that big decline. The rest of the market had a much longer term view. A lot of people that are just starting out, they buy an individual stock, and it doesn't give them any kind of diversification. It just gives them concentration in one name. Concentration in one name can be a double-sided sword. If it goes up, everything's great. If it goes down, you don't have any other stocks in your portfolio to help you out and make up for those losses. So diversification is a big thing. And it's so easy to diversify in today's day and age. There's over 3,000 exchange-traded funds with all sorts of different slants to it. Some follow the NASDAQ, some follow the S&P, some follow dividends, some follow arbitrage. I mean, you name it, there's an ETF out there for it. Make sure that you broaden and diversify your holdings when you're starting out as an investor so you don't get caught in the diversification trap. The other thing is neglecting fees. Another reason why we don't use mutual funds is because many mutual funds charge 60 to 100 basis points, almost 1% a year. If you're only making 5% a year and you're paying 1% in fees, it's going to be hard to make up for those fees. So get low fee funds. They're out there, exchange traded funds. There's over 3,000 of them. And you can find a very diversified portfolio to get started. The earlier you get started, the faster you are to get to that $5 million penny that get doubled every day. Now I'm not suggesting you can double your money every day. Einstein said the greatest law in physics is compounding. Don't ever forget that. Well, that's all I have on the subject, but I'm going to have a lot more. So come back. I appreciate you spending your time with me, and I look forward to speaking to you in the future.